social media strategy works so good that I had to stop doing it. No, seriously, it's been like years since I've posted anything on YouTube, and it's been another couple years since I really posted consistently on social media. And the reason why is because I was vlogging and documenting my journey going back to school for the past 4 years. And I was able to secure all kinds of opportunities, including billboards in Times Square, developing an AR experience with Niantic in the Hollywood Hills in California, and a whole bunch of other opportunities and brand deals that I would have never expected while I was also a student in college. And it became so overwhelming and it was working so well that I actually had to stop. So it's actually been, I graduated in 2023. We are now in 2025. And I want to share this process because I have a lot of friends and people that I know that are constantly asking me, how did you grow your social media? And so I kind of want to share what I did and why I stopped. And now I am starting back over again. But this time, I want to focus on long form content. So that's why I'm even here today on YouTube and continuing forward. I basically am going to do the same thing that I'm going to talk about in this video, but I'm going to be doing it with long form content and then also making it more intentional, because that was one of the things that stopped me last time. Is because I was in school, there was really nothing that I was trying to build or do other than focusing on my work. But now I have Sketch Studios, which is my art studio, my creative studio, and I have a lot of ideas and a lot of projects that I want to share, and I just want to document that journey and share it with you guys. So everything that I'm talking about, I'm still doing and I'm going to continue doing in the future. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about social media. And before we even get into this, I just want to preface that I am not a social media guru. I am not a marketer. I do not have an agency, none of these things. This is simply what has worked for me personally. And I'm also making this because I have a bunch of friends, a bunch of colleagues, a bunch of business owners, and a bunch of people that just know me personally, that have asked me like, what did, how do you do social media? Can you help me with mine? Can you, manage my social media? And I do none of those things, right? I simply have just used the platform, and this strategy just worked for me. And I think that it might work for you, especially if you're someone who you aren't looking to create content necessarily. You're not looking to, you know, um, create tutorials or spend a lot of time even like editing your videos. You just want to be able to share what you're doing. And this absolutely changed my entire perspective. So, I've been on social media for years, right? But I didn't take it seriously until 4 years ago, when I went back to college. And this was based off of some advice that Gary Vaynerchuk put out there, right? And he was harping on about TikTok and how to jump. You needed to jump on TikTok because this platform was the hottest platform as far as reach, as organic reach, and the ability to post and have your post be seen by the masses in comparison to Instagram and Facebook. So I took his advice, and essentially what I started doing was I started documenting my journey through college. And so, at first I thought that I had to create content just like everyone else, right? And what I quickly realized is that there was absolutely no way that I could, because I did not have time to create content. Literally, I was creating all kinds of projects for my classes. So I quite literally did not have the time, and it forced me to commit and to be consistent with just putting those videos out there and without really thinking twice about them. And so essentially what I started doing was I started vlogging my journey. And there's a bunch of videos on there now where I kind of pivoted, and I'll explain why here in a moment. But I started documenting my journey, and essentially I was just like filming literally my entire day, from morning till night. And I would just get little snippets here and there, little seconds of the day, when I was working on things, when I was working on projects, some behind the scenes. And then I would edit that together and post it as a 60-second video, right? Or less, or a little bit more, whatever was allowable on the platform.
And I started gaining a lot of traction, to the point where, I was doing it for about 3 or 4 months consistently every single day. And I gained about 30,000 followers. Some of my videos had thousands of views. Some of them had a couple hundred. And, I was seeing that traction. And then I had a video go viral. And as you can see, this was the video here that went viral. It was a 24-hour animation contest that happened at school. I had absolutely no intention, right? It was completely like, especially the quality of that video. I didn't think that, I just wouldn't have thought that that video would have gone viral. Now, when you look back on it, and we'll like look at it here in a different video, I can kind of see how. But it was not what I intended to do. It just so happened to be that video that went viral, right? Because I was already consistently posting on a daily basis. But what happened to me was that I kind of I tried to, I focused on that, right, and I tried to replicate that. And what I kind of lost the perspective on was that I stopped doing the things that got me there, and then I just really started obsessing about, the followers and like count and views and all of these things. So it kind of derailed what I was doing. However, I still I still was posting consistently, and because of that, so I was posting on TikTok and Instagram, and because of me just consistently posting, and posting like projects that I was working on and behind the scenes, that's how I got the opportunity to work on billboards in Times Square. Right, I was part of a community for NFTs for VFriends, and it wasn't just social media. It was also me being active within the community, within the Discord, and posting my artwork, and just kind of engaging with that community, but also posting on my social media of the things that I was capable of, right? And so sharing, all the different software, the animation and the visual effects and the AR and the XR, and all of these things, and my classwork. So it was kind of a culmination. And then I posted about, or I entered a challenge for Niantic. Those are the developers of Pokemon Go. And I'm not a developer, right? I'm not someone that, I don't know how to code. At that time, I still don't know how to code. But I had very limited information. And it was only because I was working on like a summer research project for one of my school projects. And then I did that challenge, but I posted the behind the scenes, and then someone from the company reached out to me, and that's how I had the opportunity to go to, for that month residency in the Hollywood Hills, to compete for the winter, or for um, the not the winter challenge, but their in-house lightship experience, right? So I had, I had all of these opportunities, and it was because of the fact that I remained consistent and committed to posting on social media. And it was so, I mean, it worked so well that I literally had to stop. I had to stop posting, because I was getting so many opportunities, and I was also in college, right? I was also trying to be a student, and so it got very overwhelming very fast. And it, again, to the point where I just had to stop being as consistent, because something about me too is that I love trying things, and I am just very, I love learning, and I am obsessed with just tasting, right? And so whenever I try something, people assume that that is the thing that I do. And like, my thing is that once I kind of try that thing and I see how it is, I am now moving on to the next idea, right? And I'm gone. And so people like to recruit me to work on their projects when I may not necessarily be interested in that project anymore. So that's something that I've learned, that I have to, whenever I post on social media, I have to be more intentional about it, and that's actually what I'm gonna start doing. But I don't regret any of the opportunities. They have been absolutely incredible, mind blowing, life changing, and I'm so grateful for them. But I just want to like explain the power of what social media can do, right? When you're sharing content about the things that you're interested in, and you share them in a way that you can tell, right? People could tell from my, I would use voiceovers, and people would always talk about my enthusiasm, because those are the things that I was interested in, right? And so I advocate and will, cheer anyone on that wants to start social media, and that feels as though they have to be some sort of professional. You don't, right? You can literally just document what you are already doing, especially if you are creating something. People love watching the process. People love watching the behind the scenes. And sometimes, honestly, more times than not, people like the behind the scenes more than the final product, right? Because they understand the journey that it took to get there.
And there you have it. So this is how and why I started posting content, and how I got the opportunities that I got. I switched my mindset from creating content to documenting because it's what worked for me. And this is great for any, again, creative, any entrepreneur, small business owner, organization. If you don't have a lot of free time and you're already doing interesting things, switching your mind to documenting is, I'm telling you, it works. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here on YouTube going forward. So if you're interested in that, I have a playlist. Maybe there's a video here or over here, but I'm going to have a playlist of a few different videos that break down how I actually started documenting, how I started uploading, how to edit with CapCut. So if you're somebody that wants to learn how to do these things hands-on, I'm going to have a playlist and videos for you there. And if you're interested in following my journey, go ahead and like this video and also subscribe. It's been a while since I said that. Subscribe to this channel, and I'm so excited to continue on in this journey, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care.